The world does not change in one single moment. It changes slowly, quietly, almost invisibly. And then one day, people suddenly realize that the rules of the game are no longer the same. This is how every major economic shift in history begins. Today, we may be standing at the beginning of one of those moments, something economists call a commodity supercycle. A commodity supercycle is not a normal price boom. It is a long period, sometimes a decade or more, when the prices of many raw materials rise together and stay high, not because of speculation, but because the structure of the world itself is changing. We have seen this before. During the Industrial Revolution, after World War II, when countries had to rebuild, and in the 2000s when China reshaped global demand. Each time the same pattern appeared. The world changed. Infrastructure expanded, energy demand exploded, and commodities entered a long bull market. So why are people talking about a new supercycle today? Because once again, the foundations of the global economy are shifting. The energy system is being redesigned. Supply chains are being rebuilt. Geopolitics is becoming more tense. And years of underinvestment are starting to show their consequences. For a long time, the world lived with a comfortable illusion that everything would always be cheap, abundant, and easy to access. But reality works very differently. Mines do not appear overnight. Energy infrastructure takes years to build, and production capacity cannot be increased by political decisions. A new copper mine can take 10 years to become operational, but demand can change very quickly. And when demand moves faster than supply, prices rise. When the gap is structural, not temporary, prices stay high for a long time. This is how supercycles begin. But this shift does not affect all commodities in the same way. Some groups stand out more than others. First, there are precious metals. Gold and silver have always played a special role. When uncertainty rises, trust in paper money weakens. And when trust weakens, people look for something more solid. Gold has always been that anchor. Silver is even more interesting, because silver is not only money, it is also an industrial metal. It is used in solar panels, electronics, and modern technologies. So, in a world with rising uncertainty and rising industrial demand, silver benefits from two forces at the same time. Then there are industrial metals: copper, aluminum, nickel, and others. These metals are the nervous system of the modern economy. You cannot build electric grids, electric vehicles, data centers, or renewable energy systems without them. And the world is trying to build all of these things at the same time. This is not a short-term story. This is a structural demand story. And structural demand is what creates long trends. Finally, there is energy. Oil and natural gas are no longer just economic inputs. They are strategic assets. They shape geopolitics. They define national security. And in a more fragmented world, energy security is becoming more important than cheap energy. At the same time, the financial side of the world is also changing. Over the last 15 years, enormous amounts of money have been created. Debt has reached historic levels, and purchasing power has slowly eroded. History shows a clear pattern. When paper money loses value, real assets gain importance. Land, energy, metals, gold. In other words, commodities. This is why so many people are asking the same question today. Are we entering a new commodity supercycle? But here's something important. Supercycles are not straight lines. There are crashes, there are corrections, there are moments when everyone thinks it is over. But the big trend is not driven by emotion. It is driven by physical reality, by how much the world needs, and how slowly the world can produce it. And right now, the world needs more of almost everything. More energy, more infrastructure, more metals, more raw materials. But it is also entering a world that is more expensive, more political, more fragmented, and slower to build. This is the perfect environment for long-term supply pressure, which brings us to an uncomfortable conclusion. The era of cheap and abundant resources may be ending. Not because of one crisis, not because of one war, but because the structure of the global system itself is changing. In the coming years, commodities may not just be another investment. They may become the backbone of a new economic era. And years from now, people may look back and say, the supercycle did not start with a big announcement. It started quietly, right when the world was changing and most people did not notice. The real question is not whether the world is entering a new commodity era. The real question is, who is prepared for it